What if one decision in California could impact gun laws across the entire United States? Recently, Governor Gavin Newsom made a move that's not just local anymore, it's turning into a nationwide debate. Supporters are calling it necessary, critics are calling it dangerous. But what's really going on? Before we break it all down, make sure you hit subscribe, because here, we don't just give news, we explain what it actually means. What exactly did Newsom do? So let's start simple and clearly understand what actually changed here. Governor Gavin Newsom has taken a stronger position on gun laws. He is focusing more on assault weapon restrictions and magazine limits. California already had some of the strictest gun laws in America. But this move shows an effort to tighten regulations even further. And this is happening despite multiple ongoing legal challenges in courts. These challenges are questioning whether such laws follow the Constitution properly. Some judges have already raised concerns about Second Amendment protections. Yet Newsom is not stepping back or slowing down his approach. Instead, he is choosing to push forward with more aggressive policies. That decision alone is what's grabbing attention across the entire country. Because usually leaders become cautious when courts start questioning their laws. They often wait for clarity before making stronger or riskier moves. But here, the strategy is completely different and far more direct. This approach signals confidence or possibly a calculated legal risk. It shows a willingness to challenge the current interpretation of gun rights. And that's what makes this situation more than just a local issue. It becomes part of a much bigger national legal and political conversation. The focus now shifts to how far regulations can actually go, and whether courts will allow these stricter measures to remain in place. Why is this causing so much debate? Now here's where things start getting much more intense and divided. This is the point where opinions begin to strongly clash. On one side, supporters defend stricter gun laws for safety. They believe stronger rules can help reduce dangerous situations significantly. According to them, limiting certain firearms may prevent future violent incidents. They also argue it helps create safer environments for everyday communities. Supporters say prevention is always better than reacting after tragedies happen. They view these laws as necessary steps toward long-term public safety. But on the other side, critics strongly disagree with this approach. They argue this move challenges rights protected by the Constitution, especially rights connected to individual gun ownership in recent rulings. The Supreme Court has already emphasized protecting those individual rights clearly. So critics believe this decision goes directly against that legal direction. And that's exactly where the real conflict begins to grow. This is no longer a simple debate about safety and freedom. It has now become a deeper issue about constitutional interpretation itself. People are now questioning how laws should align with foundational rights. Some legal experts believe this could lead to another major court battle, a battle that may once again reach the Supreme Court level. Others think this move is a calculated and strategic legal decision, possibly designed to push boundaries and test current legal limits. It could force higher courts to give a more final answer, an answer that might shape future gun laws across the nation. So this situation carries far more weight than it first appears. Because in reality, this is not just policy change but strategy. How this could impact other states. Here's where things begin to expand far beyond California alone. This is the stage where the issue turns into a national discussion. California has long been seen as a trendsetter in policy making. What happens in this state often influences decisions across others. Lawmakers in different regions closely watch these developments unfold. They study outcomes before applying similar ideas in their own states. That's why this decision is gaining attention far beyond local borders. If Newsom's approach survives ongoing legal challenges in the courts, it could encourage other states to introduce similar strict regulations. States like New York and Washington may consider following this path. Even more states could join depending on legal outcomes and reactions. This would create a ripple effect across the entire country. Gun laws could become stricter in multiple regions over time. But there is also another possible outcome to consider here. If the courts decide to strike down these new measures, then the impact would move in the opposite direction completely. It would weaken the argument for stricter gun laws nationwide. Other states may become more cautious about passing similar rules. Lawmakers might avoid policies that could fail in higher courts. That's what makes this situation extremely important right now. Because the outcome will influence decisions far beyond one state. It has the power to shape future policies across the country. It can guide how lawmakers approach gun control moving forward. Even upcoming elections could be affected by this growing debate. Gun laws are already a major issue during political campaigns. And decisions like this make the topic even more intense. Voters may base their choices on where leaders stand here. In simple terms, this is no longer just California's issue. It has grown into something much bigger and more significant. This is about the direction the entire country may take next. What happens next? So what comes next in this situation? Everyone is watching closely. The most likely answer right now is simple and clear. This issue is heading straight into the courtrooms once again. Legal challenges are expected to continue without slowing down anytime soon. Different groups are already preparing to fight this legally step by step. These cases could move through lower courts over the coming months, and eventually, they might reach the highest court in the country. The Supreme Court could once again be asked to step in. If that happens, everything could change with one major ruling. A decision there could define gun laws for many years ahead. It could either strengthen regulations or limit how far they go. That's why this legal path is being followed so closely. But the story does not end inside courtrooms alone. There is another powerful factor shaping what happens next. That factor is public opinion across the entire country. People's voices often influence how leaders respond to issues. Voters, activists, and organizations all play an important role here. Their pressure can shape decisions made by lawmakers over time. Public reaction can sometimes be as powerful as legal outcomes. Right now, the country remains deeply divided on this issue. Different groups strongly believe in completely different directions forward. And decisions like this only increase that divide even more. The debate becomes louder and more intense with every step. So now the real question begins to take center stage. Will this move lead to stricter laws across the nation? Or will it trigger strong pushback against government control efforts? Both outcomes are still very possible at this moment. No clear answer has fully emerged from this situation yet. Everything is still developing as legal and public reactions continue. And the final outcome is something we are all waiting to see. This story is far from over. And whatever happens next could change the future of gun laws in the United States. If you want clear, simple breakdowns of complex topics like this, make sure you subscribe and stay updated. Because here, we don't just tell you what happened, we tell you why it matters.